Today, ladies and gentlemen, I will be discussing how easy it is to clear your mind. Basically, last video I recorded, which I'm not going to make public, not because it's not good. I actually really liked it, besides the fact that the audio seemed to go to Iraq for half the thing, and it was 40 plus minutes long. So, nah, that's not something I'm comfortable with. I mean, the quality here is questionable as it is, but that was borderline unwatchable. But that video was probably the best one I had recorded in terms of content thus far. I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit pissed off when I listened back to the audio and it was bad. But that's besides the point, dude. Because it was the act of recording that video that really set my mind at ease. And you know what? I'll make that video unlisted if anybody wants to watch it. Maybe I'll put the link in this description if you're really like willing to get your ears raped half the time. It's not like the audio is it's bad because it's inconsistent. It's like sporadically getting like really like these static cuts. Like it's bad. But we're back on the other microphone and I'm just chill right now because I've been doing what I need to for the day. I've got chicken defrosting right now that I'm going to go eat, and I'm going to hit my calorie goal for the day. It's all good things simply because I did what I had to do. That's what I talked about a lot in the last video, in the video that's not public, is that I would get these like tiny little intrusive thoughts that seemed harmless. Like very negative, banal thoughts. Like, I don't like doing things. And I went over the process of how that catastrophized into fucking up my whole week in a way, how it can do that. And because I had only like talked about it maybe 20 minutes after I'd had the thought, I killed it, annihilated it. That it's just gone completely. And you know what? Because I do need like 2 videos up in the catalog, simply because I want to have one always available, right? I want to do like a day delay so then I can just not do it if I don't feel like it, but still keep that sort of daily illusion going up, because honestly, this is just a practice in consistency. Nothing more than that. I'm not trying to come on here and speak profound shit. I'm trying to just articulate thoughts that I'm having and seeing if I can do it every day. So maybe I'll make it public. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just record another video after this. The videos don't even have to be 30 minutes long. They just seem to get that way because I'll get going. And the worst part is that usually the good part of the video is in that second half that people don't stick around for. So it's another thing to consider. I could just consider cutting off the first half of like all the videos that I record and probably get much better results with retention and whatnot. Give you guys the interesting stuff. So maybe the strat is to just do 2 recordings, or like one recording is like trying to verbalize the thoughts, and then the second one is like articulating them, which is usually how these videos go. If you've noticed, is that I'll be struggling to say something at first, and then I'll get into the groove and I'll say it. And that isn't a struggle when you start out by making bullet points like I used to do, because you've essentially worked through that initial phase by writing instead of speaking. And writing is a lot more effective because you can get down to the specifics a lot quicker for that particular sort of thing. I've noticed that I wring my hands a lot when I'm recording. Why would that be? Does anybody know? Don't know. But we got to get this parasocial relationship going. But if it's going to be a parasocial relationship, we got to realize that it's parasocial, meaning it's a one-sided relationship. I have enough people that I talk to in direct messages to the point where it's becoming a little straining. No, that's the wrong word. I forget about needing to text people back. I'll get messages and I'll forget to follow up on them because I don't know, my bandwidth is like I can handle like maybe talking to 3 or 4 people, but not all in the same day. That's overwhelming. If it's real life, a lot different. A lot different. With the digital world, you ought to go out of your way, sort of, to communicate with people. In the real world, it just sort of naturally happens. It naturally flows. There's this aspect of just being present, whatever goes. It's not like you get a text and you got to sit there and think about your response because you can. In real life, you can't. Whatever comes out, comes out. It's the end of it. Capiche? Cool. Hold on a sec. Had to hit the menthol. You know what I'm saying? Last night I had a mysterious pain in my shin. Don't know what that's about. Do any of you guys just like writhe in bed before you fall asleep? Like it's like you're just having like a very controlled seizure where all of your muscles are doing their thing, just kind of going crazy, just wiggling around in bed until you exhaust yourself and fall asleep. Does anybody do that? Because I know I do that, like at least for half an hour just before I go to bed. That's why I need the air conditioning on, because otherwise I'd get sweaty. And then it would be gross. But yeah, odd behavior. I think I got that from the time when I lived in my car, because I literally had to do that to warm myself up. I was sleeping in my car in the wintertime. So I guess my body is just like now wired to do that. I'm fairly certain I didn't do that before. Like I would toss and turn, but I wouldn't like just sit there and force my muscles to turn into heaters involuntarily almost. But I mean, on the bright side, I used to get these what's it called? Restless leg syndrome, where your muscles would be like inactive and they would get this fuzzy, like itchy sensation that wouldn't go away. I noticed it when you like just sort of flail about, it prevents that. Probably not the best way to go about it, but I mean, you know, my head's just really clear right now. I got out my thoughts on paper earlier today. Something like 2,000 words. I'm not going to have the time to get any more, but yeah, it went really well. I was in the zone. And then later on, I'm going to go to judo, probably die, get really sore, and then shit will be back on track. Although, because of the way that my schedule's been inconsistent lately, getting back into judo, even after like a 5-day stint not going, I'm going to be fucked. And I'm going to have to go through at least 3 days of being fucked before I get back on track. You know how it goes? Getting back into any sort of physical exercise, especially cardio, your body is just like angry at you. First handful of days, before it starts going like, okay, we need to adapt. We'll just find whatever. We'll get comfortable with this. So that's where I'm going to be. Tomorrow's probably going to be a bit harder to do things, but that should not be an excuse to not do the things. And my sleep schedule is about 2 hours off. Because I woke up at 5 this morning, and I normally wake up at 3. Because I went to bed at 10 when I normally go to bed at 8. So, there's a period of time when it's dark outside, once you wake up at 3 in the morning, where everything's quiet, everything's cool. You're just sitting in the darkness, and I usually use that time to write. And that's where I get most of my creative thinking done. So that's why I wake up so early. Yeah, I got to get that back, because otherwise, all of the places and conditions that I would write in, like the place where I write on the couch in the living room in the morning time, when it's dark out, it's a totally different environment than when it's light out. Because there's just noises, there's light everywhere, it's hard to focus. Can't do it once the light comes out. Then in here, in my room, on my bed, in my chair, there's just different activities that I do in different places at different times. So getting that little space back to myself is very important. So hopefully I'll be able to wake up at 3 in the morning, but I'll be optimistic about it. However, after getting back into exercise, hard to wake up at a good time. Until you're used to it. Then it's all chill. Just because you're exhausted, you know, body's recovering. All that fun jazz. Have not learned from my mistakes in terms of putting things in my mouth. That is not a dick joke. I will continue to do that. Hold up. Pause. This would be the point where I would, cut the audio off short, and then I would insert a meme like it was funny. But then when you just say it like in normal conversation, it doesn't fly as well. It just sounds gay. It's not used for comedic effect. But I mean, it is what it is. Who knows? The reason why I probably don't make as much jokes in these types of videos is because most of them I'm aware of the comedic timing that I can put in the editing, and then that's how I make the funny. It's how I show all you guys that I'm funny, right? Are you gonna laugh, guys? And then I would put an image of a cat staring at the screen with like underlying text that says "shut the fuck up," maybe with an NI dash at the end of it, and then the screen explodes. Just some brain rot shit. See, I'm giving you the monologue for the editing. You guys can laugh at this stuff. It's the same thing. It's just in a different format. It's basically just repackaged comedy. Right? Is this why you guys don't laugh at women's jokes? Because they're just using a different format? Do women laugh at women's jokes? Do women laugh at women's jokes because they're conditioned to laugh at each other's jokes to keep a sense of candor going? Is that why men are funny? Because they actually have to be funny, or else no one will laugh and they'll just get made fun of? Probably. But we're not going to say that because we're good people. We're all feminists at heart. And that's the disclaimer that I would give to get out of criticism. I would just say, it's a joke, guys, but I would phrase it in a way that sounded a lot more intelligent. And I watched some more of my older videos recently. I was disgusted by the amount of disclaimers that I put into place, the amount of pandering that I did, and I don't do a lot compared to a lot of YouTubers. But holy shit. What the fuck? I mean, with what I know now, I mean, I don't need to put disclaimers in place. I can address that later. It creates content for things like Comment Cop. I should probably, just keep the nuance to where it's reasonable and then let the unreasonable people do their thing. I mean, sometimes the disclaimers make a funny joke, right? Because there's an ironic insight that you get, and that's funny. But overdoing it, right? Just bringing in a sense of moralizing. Nah, dude, like, what are you doing? I've been thinking about this because I could totally just make reactions to my old content and be like, dude, this is bad. This is where you fucked up. This is what you should have said. And again, we're back onto catastrophizing. Like, what would I have done differently if I were there now? Truth is, probably the same thing. When it really comes down to it, you can only really think about what you'll do in the future. But that's scary because then you actually have to do it. You don't get the benefit of looking at it in hindsight, thinking about, okay, actually, yeah, that was a safe barrier. I could have pushed that a little bit more. No, you don't get that. Probably make the same mistake if you're not looking towards the future and taking risks. Is this microphone sort of more like ASMR? Is that what you guys come here for? Is this like retard buddy buddy ASMR? Where you come here because you're lonely? Because you wish you had a friend like me? What's it? Oh, it's that song from Aladdin. Never had a friend like me. That's a really catchy song. I love that song. I don't remember the lyrics. If I did, I would do a full-on cover right now. But I don't. So, you don't have to listen to that, thank God. This microphone's pretty good for singing. Do any of you guys like singing? Like recognizing the fact that you have an instrument in your throat that you could just make beautiful music with if you practice with it. I'm not very good at singing. Sometimes I am. People say I've got incredible range and pitch, but I was singing Katy Perry songs drunk at a college party, so first of all, not the greatest bar to go from, and second off, I don't know how valid those people's opinions were because they were smashed. Hammered. It was like this girl from who just came along and she was in music theory, something like that. Vocal whatnot. They were doing like performances and whatnot, rehearsals, preparing for things, practicing and whatnot. Maybe her opinion was valid because she was in college for that shit, so who knows? Maybe I could have been the next Frank Sinatra if I play my cards right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, fellas? Wouldn't it be nice to get up on stage and do it your way? Get up on stage. Wow, I'm trying to think of more Frank Sinatra's lines. I've been a pirate, a pauper, a poet, a puppet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out, and I know one thing. Each time I find myself flat on my face, I just pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life.
That's life.
That's what all the people say. Riding high in April, shot down in May, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying. I love those songs. My favorite one is what's it called? Shit. I listen to this thing every day. I have it set as 2 of my alarms. I'm not kidding. It's The Unreachable Star. To reach the unreachable star. You guys gotta listen to that song if you haven't already. Hard. Hard. If you're ever down in a funk, play that song, close your eyes, just sit there, listen to it, daydream. Thank me later. Straight up. That's his best song ever, and I will not take opinions on that. Mine is objectively the correct one. Best song from Frank Sinatra, hands down. I mean, I'm not even into music, like, as much as other people are. I mean, I'm really into music. I love music, but I'm in it for the love of the game, right? The listening game. I like listening to things that sound good. I'm not there to support artists. I'm not there to do trivia, right? That's what everybody seems to be doing. Like, oh, did you hear this song from this artist? It's like, no. And then if I try to go listen to their album, it's like one half okay song, the rest are dog shit. But like, I'll compare the cream of the crop of the cream of the crop to the cream of the crop. Any genre goes. I'll listen to everything. If it's well made, if it's catchy, if it hits right, I'll listen to that shit. You best believe it. I like country music. I like K-pop. I like rap. I like every conceivable genre. I like the mainstream shit when it hits right. I like house music. I like funk music. I like, yeah, running out of genres. But if you scroll down through my liked songs on Spotify, it's like every single one is a different genre. And there's not very many of them. And I don't remember the titles or the artist, any of them, except for Frank Sinatra, That's Life. Although, however, for some reason, for some conceivable reason, names and artists will pop into my head when I'm like in conversation with somebody and they're talking about music. Like, I'll just randomly remember trivia and I'll never be able to bring it up on my own. It's weird. The recall is there, but the working memory is not. It's fucked. Anyhow, guys, I really don't want to keep these videos too long. Unless you want them. I mean, with this kind of microphone quality, with microphone, love that word, microphone. With this kind of microphone quality, there is a lot more reason to extend things because it really just does become background noise. It's not grating. It's not obnoxious. It's just very chill. And I know that's what a lot of you guys are here for, is background noise. That's what I've advertised myself as for a while. But at the same time, people get scared away from longer videos, and I get that. I get that. Ugh. Hiccups. Laying down and recording, like speaking while laying down, because I'm laying down right now. For some reason, it gives me hiccups, like saliva builds up in the back of my throat. Because it, yeah, positioning and whatnot. just start drooling in my mouth because I'm holding a phallic object in front of my face and speaking softly to it. See, I'm capable of making jokes if they're gay. Isn't that funny? Or if they're, like, racially motivated. Well, that's another thing I'm pretty good at. I'm very good at turning history and statistics into jokes. Not a saleable quality nowadays. Tides may change, but for now, not my best selling point. Let's be real. I keep looking over at my Advil bottle for some reason. Got Advil in here. Probably because I forgot to put it back in my backpack. And then when I was away from my place, I got a headache. You know, the one time when I needed the thing that I usually carry on me just in case I need the thing. So, it's grabbing my attention a little bit more lately. It's a bit distracting. It's taunting me. Like, see, you needed me. You shouldn't have left me. I told you so. Every day I come on here and tell you guys that I'm not going insane, and then I say shit like that. But I swear, I'm really not. I am the spitting image of sanity. There's nothing more sane than what goes on in my brain. And then I turn that into a rap because it rhymed. Fake plants. Fake plants, dude. They're nice. Add a bit of green to your environment without actually needing any maintenance or mess. My cat can't make a mess out of fake plants. Thank goodness. So, that's it, folks. It still somehow got to nearly 30 minutes. Are you happy? Someone said you should. A few people said, "Are you going to do a podcast?" My brother in Christ, this is the podcast. Thanks for coming. And until next time, my fags and females, owners of both genitalia. Even though I checked the statistics and apparently 100% of my audience is male. Until next time.